Here's a showcase on how to use TSG Parkour Checkpoint. You can find this in the mode section since it is a mode, but it functions like a prefab. Just placing it here. The important objects here are just these two, so the cone and the grenade. The other ones we can hide. So I'm just gonna put them outside the map here. I'm gonna unprefab. And then I'm gonna select first the cone and then the grenade. Make that into its own prefab so we can move them in a group. I'll move that into the map. And don't worry about these grenades respawning. They won't be there in play mode like that. So let's position the first one. Just put it rotation like that. Then let's move the next one here. And there's like no alteration to the script required. You can just place these wherever you want. And the last one you had activated, you will then spawn there. So here I'll showcase the direction. It is where the cone points, and then on the axis of this boundary here, I'll make one on the wall here to showcase you can also have them like this. Just angle that down a little bit, you'll see that. Just place one here, resetting the rotation. Just angle it towards the blue. And then I'll put one here and angle it down. So you can see that is also being accounted for. Something like that. Now we go into play mode. If you have not gone over a checkpoint and you try to go to a checkpoint, it will say no checkpoint and produce an error sound. When you go over a checkpoint, you hear a sound of you picking up a grenade, and then when you ping, you will be put on the checkpoint. And there's no order to these checkpoints. You can just run over whichever you want, and the latest one you ran over will be the checkpoint. Here's showcasing the one on the wall. It's aimed a little bit down as well. Here, aiming towards the blue. It always fixes the rotation. Now here you may notice that I'm spawning a little bit in the air, and that is due to supporting these ones on the wall. So I don't spawn inside a wall, but if your system only has cones like this or checkpoints like this where they are on the ground and not in a weird rotation like this, then you can go in the code on the green brain and adjust this value here to 0. That means that you will spawn on the ground like this. And if I go here, you can see now I'll spawn inside the wall. But that's basically it. There's no need to alter the script unless you want to do that little fix. But other than that, it just works. Plug and play. If you want to force a player to spawn on a specific checkpoint, you can go into the purple brain and down here. There's an example setup of a checkpoint assignment. Here I'll show you. I have assigned this to Spike Grenade 2, which is here. So when the player sprints, they will be assigned that checkpoint, and then when I ping, I will spawn there on command. So here first showcasing no checkpoint, and then I walk over this. Now I'm spawning here. Walk over here, now I'm spawning here, and then if I sprint and then mark, I will spawn on this assigned one. Now here I've automated the process where if a player enters this boundary, they will spawn on this checkpoint on the left. Taking a look at the code, just when a player enters this boundary, assign the checkpoint with these values from this spike grenade, and then immediately revert the checkpoint. So showcasing here, I'm now spawning on that. And then if I enter this, I will just immediately spawn on that checkpoint.